Hey guys, my name is Kiive. I'm a sound engineer in the Seattle area. I work at Eastridge Church as the production director and the Finding Church as a sound engineer. A couple months ago, I had the opportunity to do sound for the Finding Conference, which was really, really fun. Got to bring out my big old analog gamble console, my tape machine, and we had a great time. A couple weeks ago, I was asked to edit down and mix a highlight from that out of the Heidi Baker session where she called an audible and was like, hey, let's go into the backpack song. And Circuit Riders got up there, they did Lace Up Your Boots, and it was really, really fun. And as I was setting up my session, I thought, hey, this might be really cool to try out doing Instagram Live. So I set up my OBS session, got it all going, and my poor little MacBook Air could not keep up. So I had to end the stream, but decided to keep recording, because maybe I could pull some highlights or clips out of this. And I did. It was really cool. I pulled several of them, and I kept getting comments saying, hey, where's the full version? Where's the full version? I can't find the full version. And I'm like, I've never really seen people post long form vertical content before, and everything was captured in vertical. But here we are. So this is imperfect. There's going to be times where you'll notice I'm clipping OBS quite a bit, and I go back and fix it later, or hey, maybe I try something and I think I like it, and then I realize later on, I'm going to pull that out. I'm just going to vibe with it. Like, I really enjoy doing what I do. So I might just turn a knob till I put a smile on my face, That's just kind of how it is. So it's not very scientific, just a whole lot of fun for me. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you get something out of it. And I don't know, maybe next time I'll do a horizontal and a vertical or something. But yeah, this was a recording from the Finding Conference, and I got started on this, but I'll go through and just talk about what I'm doing, and I'll just talk about what I'm doing as I do it. Working on the kick. And I do want a bit more impact on this, so we're going to add, how about a Pultec EQ1P? I want to add really broad impact on here. Let's go up kind of how we had, and then do an attenuation as we do this. Now the snare, I want to add a bit more beef. EQ, this VEQ4 is really good for that. Lower, like 100. Is probably better. I am getting a little extra rumble from floor tom bleed. So I think I'm gonna put it in expansion mode. Need to go back to a floor hit just to make sure I didn't overdo that. There we go. I'm gonna increase the range. More threshold. More. Better, much, much better. Perfect. Now back in context with the drums. Nice. All right, let's check it out with bass. That bass tone is just nuts. I don't think I really have to do much to that, but maybe just some slight compression. Let's try 2A on that. So already kind of adds a little bit of gain to the default settings. good. I'm going to take this out of solo and just listen to what we got so far. Oh, yeah. Man, I don't got to do like hardly anything to this. But what I might do is just put a 1176 on this. And this is like my secret sauce on just getting things to get excited. What you can do is set this guy to a fast release, slow attack. And then you're just going to sit there just with it on, turn it up until this is barely even lighting up. And then we're going to just get the gain where we need it. Let me back up a little bit. Let's go to a loud section. So yeah, basically we're doing the all buttons mode, and just barely hitting it with any compression, and we're just really trying to get that harmonic saturation that this will add. Let's go to electric 2, and same thing. I mean, we might go back and add some compression just to kind of level out some of the stuff, like the quiet parts, but let's just copy what we got on E1 over to E2. Just going to hit it just so it just starts to tickle. Back it off a little bit. We're going to put E1 and E2 into an electric group. There we go. Unsolo, slow the group. Nice. So what we're going to do, so one of my favorite tricks is a trick I learned from Chris Greeley, and that is using a Pultec compressor to do mid-side compression on stereo instruments like electrics. So what we'll do is we'll open that up. So what we'll do is we'll put this into lat vert mode. And what that's going to allow us to do is compress the stuff going on in the center of the stereo image separate from the sides, which will actually help us get the vocal placed on top. So yeah, pretty subtle, but here's it off and on. All right, let's take a look at the strings. We had Alison and Antonio playing with us, and they have their own rig. So what that means is typically the signal I get from them usually sounds really good. But let's see what we can do to get their stuff to sit really good in the mix. So we have a violin and a cello. So it already has some verb on it. They're doing some doubling, some basic processing. I think what I want to do is maybe sculpt out a little bit of the low mids. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, I mean, there it is. It is a mid-heavy instrument. But let's see what we can do to just sculpt a little bit of that out and then add a little bit of sizzle. I want to be careful to take the 500 out because that's most of the body. But I think there's something hanging out in that 150 that I could probably clear out. And then for additive EQ, I'll go and use that that Neve style, the VEQ. I just love the amount of air you can get on this. There we go. Ooh. Just it adds so much air. Like I might even bring that down. I like the 15K sizzle that it adds. Let's see what other mids we can maybe boost, just to get more presence. Okay, that's not too bad. And I wonder if there is a better way we can open up some of that. There it is. It's like that 180. Might even undo what we did there. See, and that's honestly, that's one of the things that I love about VEQ is that there are so many instances where, you know, I could be in F6 in a multiband sculpting out 30 million things to try to get it to sound the way I want to. And if I just did the same thing in VEQ with just like 2 bands, it sounds way better. Brendan Schulte did a video on this and basically just showcasing how not every EQ is similar. Specifically, the VEQ has very little phase shift. So when you do stuff with it, I mean, it's a pretty broad EQ, but when you go to turn a knob, even when you turn it a lot, it's not going to knock that signal too far out of phase. So it sounds really, really good. And you don't need as much EQ. Like I just turned off my F6 because that's great. That's exactly what I wanted to sound like. So let's go to violin. And let's just start with VEQ. Just throw the body back into that and some sizzle. I turned 2 knobs. Sounds amazing. All right, now let's process them together in the strings group. And I think the only thing I want to do here is just tuck in the dynamics a little bit, just to get them to sit together a little bit more. And that'll also make them stand out more during the quiet moments as well. So let's slap a 76 on it. We're going to set the release to 7, attack at 0. I don't want this thing to really engage super fast, but I want it to release super fast. Whoa, don't need to slam it that hard. Go bluey, so it's a little more aggressive. I'm going to go back to the cello and add a little bit more. There we go. All right, let's check out the keys. Sounds great. There we go. Now, I think I just want to get it. I'll do the same 1176 trick, the all buttons mode, just to get it to sit up a little bit. But I don't feel the need to compress this very much. So yeah, I think I'm only doing like maybe 360 dB of compression. I want that snare to just really, really pop. And as much as the 2500 is great, I think I might need to go back to my 76 just for this very specific thing I'm trying to do with it. So we got some fundamental there at like the 150-ish. And I think I had a boost going. You know what I might do? Just for the sake of beef, I'll throw some torque on there. There we go. all I want is more fundamental. I'm not trying to like make it the lowest thing on planet Earth. I just want to move that fundamental down a little bit. All right. And back to VEQ. All right, and the last thing I'll do is add a gated verb on this. I'll just use H verb, and we're going to choose from the gated. We just mix a little bit of wet into that. Just going to play with the dampening. All right, let's try Brandon Meyer's trick of just putting it on the snare bottom. Dude, it just works. How have I not done this? It's honestly almost like the Chris Lord Algae thing, where like you put verb on the indirect mics instead of the direct mics. But how have I gone this long without doing this? Brandon, thank you. Love it. All right. Let's get back to mixing. How about vocals?
Sing, take courage. A harvest is right.
Find the chorus.
There's a yes, there's a yes, there's a yes in our hearts, and it carries through.
All right, so I'm hearing some low mid stuff, and there's a little bit of an S. And all I want to do with this is just to correct for mic technique and the proximity effect. The proximity effect is when you bring your mouth really close to a microphone and it sounds really, really warm. But then the further back you go, the thinner it sounds. So that's the really fun thing about multiband stuff, is that you can kind of correct for this. So you could say, well, all those low mids only build up when they get close, but I need those low mids back when they pull back. So you can take that and just say, hey, maybe I want this to be here, right? So as she pulls back, it's going to gain that up. But as she digs in, it's going to pull it back.
There's a yes, there's a yes, there's a yes.
You can also play with the attack and release speeds if you need to make it more subtle. So I'm going to get a de-esser ready. I don't know if I need to use it, but I'm just going to get it ready to go on here. There's two really great de-essers. There is Waves DS, which is just a single parameter. You just yank this down, rips the S out. So there's that one, and there's also Renaissance, or RDSer. And RDSer is also really, really good. Let me turn off this other one.
There's a yes, there's a yes, there's a yes in our hearts.
My friend David told me that the normal Waves de-esser seems to be really good at like the chuck, the low, the kind of S's. It just works. But Renaissance de-esser seems to be a little bit better at like the higher fidelity, sizzly S's. So at this point I use both because if I don't have time and I just want to like get rid of the S, the normal de-esser works. Otherwise, RDSer is great.
There's a yes, there's a yes, there's a yes in our hearts, and it carries through eternity. Simple obedience.
So I'll just start there. I don't want to do too much, and I do need to compress and get this level up a little bit more. All right, let's get the 1176 back on here. Do Bluey with a fast release, slow attack.
Obedience. There's a yes, there's a yes, there's a yes in our hearts, and it carries through eternity. Simple obedience. There's a yes, there's a yes, there's a yes.
I'm still hearing a little bit of the proximity effect, so see if I can pull that out. If I just high pass it more. I might even go steeper. The Gamble has a 24 dB per octave high pass filter. I should be hearing the signal should be post high pass, but we're in the studio. I'm hearing more of that, and I realize this is a loud part of the song too. So.
Change. There's a yes, there's a yes, there's a yes in our hearts, and it carries through eternity.
Maybe some more low mid.
Obedience, change. There's a yes, there's a yes, there's a yes in our hearts.
All right, we'll start with that, and then we'll throw a 3A on there just to smooth things out a little bit. Why I choose the 3A over the 2A? There's just something that it does to the top end that I really like.
Change. There's a yes, there's a yes, there's a yes in our hearts, and it carries through eternity. Simple obedience, change.
And then let's get some verbs set up on this. Now, normally I would use something like H-verb. When I was using Super Rack Performer Live, I used Strymon Big Sky. This is probably my favorite reverb right now. This and Seventh Heaven. Strymon Big Sky is typically what guitar players use on their pedal boards, and it's really, really good at bloomy, swelly, long tail, sizzly stuff. It is just really, really cool, and I'm really stoked that I have it in a plug-in form now, so I can use it on everything. But so let's listen to this. Let's go to Cloud. Jeez. Let me mess with this a bit.
Simple obedience, change.
Oh my gosh. It just sounds ethereal. I should probably tame that a little bit. I get a little carried away. Oh man. Big Sky reverb. It's just my favorite. Okay. Let's do the other vocals.
Simple obedience.
So I'm just going to do a quick copy paste because I love where I started from. I love where we got so far.
Simple obedience, changing. Obedience changes history. There's a yes in our hearts, carries through eternity. Simple obedience changes.
Sheesh. The vocals are nuts. All right. There's one thing that I forgot to add, and that is VEQ, because I want a little extra sparkle. I'm okay with a bit of the woof that we're getting. Part of that is just it was live and they're eating the mics. I don't want to hack too much of that out. But let's give it a go. 15K.
Obedience changes history. There's a yes in our hearts.
The 15K. Oh man, the air is just amazing. Let's copy that back over. Listening context.
Simple obedience changes history. There's a yes in our hearts, and it carries through eternity. Simple obedience changes. So take courage. The harvest is ripe. Lift up your voice, 'cause Jesus is alive.
I might compress these guys a little bit more because I want them to come to the forefront a little bit more. All right, this is coming along great. I think I want to maybe get the drums a little squishier, and I do know that I got quite a bit of gains cranked. I'm gonna have to probably trim my groups down. Thankfully, that's the perk of being in 32-bit float. Even though it clips on the meter, if you just bring the fader down, it's not actually clipping. Or if you got signal going into signal, so long as the the thing down the chain is trimmed down, all that information is still there. And what I want to do here is, and this is more of a creative thing, I'll use, you know what, let's try Plugin Alliance Lindell bus. I want to deliberately get a pumping effect. That one might only just be adding harmonic stuff. Let's just do bus, SSL bus compressor. G comp stereo. There we go. There we go. So this is something I've heard it done in like alternative music, and I don't really hear it super, like I don't hear it a bunch in Christian contemporary, but it's still really fun to do every now and then. But basically, you take kick and snare and pretty much everything else and the overheads, and every time the kick pumps, you hear the overheads duck a little bit because the kick is hitting the compressor before the overheads do. It's just a fun thing. It's just a taste thing. Yeah. It's totally a taste thing, and for some it's going to be too much, but I kind of like it. So let's listen to it in context. I'm gonna back off actually. Is that one more impact? All right, let's work on the crowd mics. Some mids out. I might even slap a limiter on that just to like squeeze every last ounce I got. Let's go back to the lace up your boots part here. Lace up your boots. Put on your backpack. There we go. All right, now I guess it's time to do some master bus stuff. So what I love to do is use this plugin from Kiive Audio called Nfuze. Now, Nfuze is stinking awesome. If you guys have ever used SSL Fusion or the Kiive master bus transformer, this is a combination of both of those. So by default, it goes to the Kiive mode. That's this green and yellow mode. And then if you flip these switches, you can switch individual sections to their corresponding SSL counterparts. So let's just say you like the saturation knobs of the Neve better, or the EQ knobs better on SSL. You can mix and match, which is really, really cool. So typically what I'll do is I'll do saturation from Neve and width from SSL. Already I'm loving it, but let's start turning these knobs. Oh my gosh, the shine knob. I think that's the equivalent of Neve Blue. Yeah. All right, let's do some width. Having way too much fun right now. Sheesh. I want more snare punch though. There. Oh, there it is. Listen to that. No trigger. No trigger needed. Very happy with how this has turned out. I will say mixing on Gamble pre's is something else. Like mixing on Gamble pre's on a Gamble, obviously amazing. Just being able to hear the pre's alone in a sterile environment, it's still really, really cool. It is super impactful. All the information I need is there. This has been a lot of fun. I think all I got to do next is really just do a pass through with automation, but we've built everything here. We get the drums, electrics, vocals. It's all sitting really well, and this is really close to the mix that I did at front of house. So this has been a lot of fun. But yeah. So again, this is my first long form content style mixing video. Normally I'm doing like POV, footage from behind the console, rig rundown stuff. So you can catch that on my Instagram, or if you want to see more long form content, you can follow me here.